Hey, you're cutting that one close. Whoa. That's weird. What the hell? Why is my shit so screwed up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, that sound's going on YouTube also.
It's like, what the freak is this big old freaking delay for all of a sudden? Ah, blam it. Sons of bitches. Oh well, screw it. Ain't nobody watching anyhow. I don't give a shit.
Well, we're here for somebody.
So you did your tournament on Saturday,
Yep, did the tournament. Tournament on Saturday at the potholes.
and you had to wake up at what time?
I had to get up at 2:30. Had to head out. Had to be on the road by 3. I wanted to be there no later than 4:30 at the latest because blast off was at
Right.
5. So yeah, that was I only got about 3 hours of sleep.
I was gonna text you like at 2:30 too, and say, hey man, you up?
Yeah, no, I was up on time. Up on time, headed up the road and enjoyed a lightning show all the way up there.
Oh yeah. It was doing that on the when we were heading home. I saw some lightning.
Right? Yep.
Some reason.
Got up there and they had 23 boats, which I'm pretty sure that's a bit above normal for like a normal, just a regular season tournament for them.
Right. So how come the guy? I thought it was more of a team thing. Wow. So
Yeah, it
the guy
was.
that got first place was by himself,
Yeah, I don't know if that's his he just doesn't know anybody or he just doesn't want to take anybody with
right?
him. Yeah, so because I remember the last tournament I fished with those guys last month here at Tri-Cities, he was fishing by himself that day too. Well, he had his lab with him, but that doesn't count.
Hmm.
So, yeah, he's that's the second time I've seen him. He's fished by himself, but yeah, they had 23 boats, and I think I heard somebody say it was because Northwest Bass was off this weekend, and so was that other, the ABA or whatever it's called, and then I even heard somebody saying at the dock like, oh yeah, the one of the top guys from Northwest Bass was teaming up in the same boat with one of the top guys from the other circuit, and it's like, wow, perfect. And actually, you know what's going on when you're standing around in the morning, right? And they have the head guy from the club. He's got his little table set up with a little cash box, and he's taking last minute signups, right? You know you're in trouble, right? When you hear somebody walk up to him and go, "How much is it to join our membership?" Like that's your sign right there, right? Yeah, that's your sign. Yeah. So yeah, there was a lot of nice equipment there too. Let me tell you,
Huh.
there was a lot of stuff to drool
I
over.
bet.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Well, this is bugging the shit out of me on my screen. So, but anyhow, hold on. Let me do this. Oh my god.
Just saw somebody post on Facebook that Bateman Island's on fire.
I thought I saw some smoke. So that was before cast off.
Yeah, that was before blast off. So yeah, there was quite a few. I don't know if you call them ringers, but there definitely was some talent there for sure.
So did you guys end up hitting the dunes at all?
Yeah, so we went back up in the dunes, and that's where we pretty much spent our whole day. So, and that was interesting. That was my first time up in there. And yeah, so I've watched I watch a lot of YouTube stuff, fishing wise, and it funny thing was that honestly, a lot of it really made me think about Okeechobee, to be honest with you. So there was a lot of reeds, there was a lot of submerged vegetation. You got these little islands and little sandbars and stuff out there, and that's it's when I remember telling the guy Fred, the guy whose boat I was in, I was like, man, you just look around and everything looks good. Like you could just spend days in
Right.
there and not fish everything. And and a matter of fact, funny thing was I was thinking about because we dream about getting our own boat someday, and I was thinking, man, if Jade ever gets a bass boat, I'm telling you, do not take your wife out
Yeah,
there.
should be.
Because that will be a waste of time. Because, dude, you would never make it in there. She'd start freaking out as soon as you saw those reeds and that shit. Oh, it's too shallow. It's too shallow. She'd lose her freaking mind because, I mean, everything looks like that. I mean, you're going between these two islands and you're like, there's no way because there's stuff growing up, but you don't realize when you go over it, it's still like 5-6 feet deep. But it sure looks like it. And you know what? And actually, one guy did say that he kind of jumped a sandbar out there because he was already committed. He was too fast and couldn't woe up in time. But yeah, there's places back in there we were catching them in like 2 feet of water. So
Right.
But yeah, it's definitely fishy everywhere back there.
So
and also I could see where, I could see where a guy could get lost back in there. If you got far enough back in there, because it's kind of like running through it. Well, if you look at it on satellite, on Google Earth or something, it's kind of like running a maze to get back in there.
So did you see anywhere like we could like drive over the dunes and put in?
No. I was looking.
So how big was Big Fish?
I want to say it's 5.8 pounds, right in that range.
Look at that, dude. Hold on a second. I just noticed that. Looking at this picture. Look at you. You get like giving him the evil eye. That's the dude that won. He was by himself. But you're all like eyeballing the shit out of him.
That's not the guy.
I think that is the guy that won.
Oh no, that picture right there is because I just got done lugging the fish bag all the way up there. See, now I'm bending over holding that heavy bastard. Because you had to come from all the way down at the dock at Potholes. And you had to walk all the way up the ramp and all the way up the hill.
What'd you guys end up with?
Like 11.6.
Where'd you catch that smallie from?
Yeah, up in the dunes. Yeah, there was a few people that caught some smallmouth up there, but most of them were largemouth. But like I said, if you flipping through those pictures, it was a lot of good fish caught. There was no like 7-8 pounders, but there was plenty of 2 to 3 pounders, and probably even some 4s.
5th place. Yeah, I didn't see you get a plaque, so.
No, we got 18th out of 23.
Whew. Everybody was catching fish.
Yeah.
See? That's that same dude you're eyeballing.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy's actually he's actually a really nice dude. And he fishes with his dog, so, he gets points for that. Yeah, there was a lot of good fish caught up there. But yeah, only 11 pounds. I mean, and not to do the old everybody has if I would have caught this one or the one that got away, but we did honestly, each of us had two fish that had we landed them, I'm going to say would have easily got us into the top 10. Easily.
Really? What was your biggest one?
Yeah. Uh, well, our biggest fish was 2.8 pounds, and I'm pretty sure it was the one he caught. And I had one that was maybe a hair smaller, so probably 2.5.
Hmm.
Right around. They were close to the same size, but yeah, I had one. I had one on. It was really good, but it somehow wrapped me around I don't know if it's like a underwater sagebrush or something, but I had it on, it was running, and then it got like snagged under something, right? And I'm like, crap. And so he's on the trolling motor, we're heading back over to it. He's like, just keep pressure on it, keep pressure on it. He's like, is it still there? I'm like, I don't know, I think it came off. And so I kind of let down a little bit of pressure, and I could feel the rod start shaking, start vibrating. I'm like, oh, he's still on there. So I kept the pressure on him, and when about the time he got the front of the boat over there to kind of reach down, then he got off.
Uh,
Yeah,
and
and that one, it was a good one. I'm gonna say it probably was a solid 4 pounder. Could have been bigger, but
what were you catching them on?
so in the morning, oh, you know what? That's what I should have done, huh? I should have got the baits out to show. But anyways, the first fish I caught on was a swim bait. It was a Strike King Rage Swimmer, so basically a Kitech knockoff
Right.
on a quarter-ounce swim bait head. I don't know what happened to your camera. What's up with your
I'm
camera?
taking it off the other one while you're talking.
Oh. Anyways, it was one of those swimmers on a quarter-ounce swim bait head, and we both started out throwing frogs, and we weren't getting any bites or anything, and so I was like, well, he's throwing the frog, and since it's a team tournament, I'll try something different. And I was casting it, trying to parallel the vegetation line, and I just happened to look back over my shoulder, and I saw a fish bust out in the middle of this little cove that we were
Yeah.
in. So I reeled mine up real quick, and I turned and launched it right at where I saw those rings out in the water. Yeah, as soon as it hit the water, boom, he grabbed it. So that was the first fish I caught, and then I caught one more on the swim bait, and then I actually caught one on the frog. So
Nice.
actually startled the crap out of me, because that's what Fred was catching all his on the frog, and I was reeling that thing in. I was working it, and I cleared the vegetation. I was about halfway back to the boat, and I pretty much had given up on it, and I was just getting ready to start winding it in, and all of a sudden I saw that thing bust up and grab it, and about scared the crap out of me. I wasn't expecting that. But I did say, well, I'm going to have to tell my buddy Jade that my one frogfish is no longer a fluke. Because he caught a lot on the frog.
Really?
He was throwing a popping frog. Or actually, I don't even know if it's a frog. It might have been one of those funky little popping perch things. Pulling drags in here. What's up, pulling
what
drag?
up, yo?
Anyways, yeah, he was catching them a lot on that thing. It was getting a lot of blow-ups. As a matter of fact, the second fish I caught, it was pretty cool, actually. So we're going along, and you know how the reeds would have little pockets in them and stuff. And so he cast his frog in there, and he snagged one out of there real quick. So I dropped my rod, grabbed the net, netted his for him. And then I'm like, I reeled up my swim bait real quick. I'm like, well, maybe there's another one in there. And I just kind of did a little backhanded pitch in there. And as soon as it landed, bam, I caught one right in the same little hole his was in.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was.
you had fun doing it. You had a good time.
Oh yeah, it was fun. It was fun for sure. But it's just as the day went on, I was hurting though. 3 hours of sleep caught up to me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
They have these little side pots in their tournaments, right? So you got like big fish, big stringer, slot bag. There's all these different side pots you could bet, and they even have one for smallest fish. And you probably saw that picture in there when you were scrolling through those pictures. Some guy holding little tiny fish. And Fred always buys into that too. So as we get, I don't know, there was like an hour and a half left in the tournament. And he's like, oh, let's run over by the dam and see if we can get a small fish, right? So now, mind you, my ass is dragging, right? It's all I could do to try to stay awake at this point, because now, after about 10 o'clock, the bite was pretty much dead. You're just fishing for hours and casting, casting, casting with
Mm-hmm.
nothing. Starting to get hotter out. Starting to get tired. So we go over to the dam, and I had on a Velcro or something. And so I start throwing it out there. I'm like, oh, maybe we'll get lucky, get a big smallmouth. And he looks at what I'm throwing. He's like, well, that's kind of a big bait there. We're trying to catch a little fish. And I'm sitting there like, what? I'm like, a little, really? Like, I'm too tired, man. I'm like, well, fine. I guess I could tie on this rattle bait. I caught a few small fish on the river last week on a rattle trap. So, like, at least it'll keep me awake because I can keep casting it back and forth. And yeah, it's like, man, I don't know about this little fish side
That's
bet.
why I said go to the dam, drop shot. Say that's you could just say you got your casting seat I could use, and you just sit up on there and just.
Well, I was sitting on the back of the. Hey, and the sad part is I spooled up that new reel
Oh yeah.
the night before. Oh yeah, I had it all ready to go, but I didn't have the drop shot tied on. I just had it set up for a wacky rig in case I wanted to use it for a follow-up bait. But I didn't even have the energy to tie on a drop shot, so I never even broke that thing. I never took the rod sock off it.
Shit. So what did you learn that you're going to be going to bed at 7 a.m. when you got a 2.5 hour drive?
I should have had all my crap ready instead of doing the old usual night before thrash till too late in the night.
Right.
You know how that
Oh
goes.
yeah.
I can't do that, man. I'm not 24 anymore. I can't do that. Stay up all night crap.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't work. But hey, I stayed awake to make the drive home, so that was
Yeah. What
good.
time did you finally get home?
Uh, it was close to
Yeah.
6. Because by the time they did the weigh-in and then did the awards and all that stuff, we didn't get out of there till, I don't know, must have been close to 5 or yeah, it was probably about 4:30, and I was so hungry by that point because all I had was a couple Cliff Bars all day. The guy that I fished with last week, he was up there. He was fishing with a different guy, and I was talking to him at the weigh-in. I'm like, man, let's get this show on the road. Some of us got to drive home, right? And he's like, man, I'm going up to Moses Lake because I'm starving. I haven't ate all day. And I'm like, well, that's a good idea. I'm going to do that too. So, 17 miles up the road to go grab something.
Go to
eat,
McDonald's.
I hit Burger King. Then I just fired up some Ike Live podcast in the truck and
Yeah.
but it was fun. It was a good experience, but I've learned some things for sure doing it. I was talking to Maria about it when I got home. I was like, well, here's the thing, it's just like anything else, right? So if you want to be good at it and you want to be competitive, it costs money. You know why those guys that win are good? Because they put the time in. Like the guy that won, right? What did he say? He said, oh, he got all his fish off some beaver huts up in the dunes. Well, these beaver huts were still underwater. Well, he only knew because he has them all marked on his fish finder.
Right.
From fishing up there for years or putting time in. But so here's the deal. So even, everything costs. That's the thing. You got a big fancy bass boat. Those things aren't cheap to run.
Right.
But if you want to compete with those guys that are winning, guess what? They're out there. Them dudes are out there 2-3 times a week. So,
yeah, that's the whole thing right there. Is just,
You know what it costs to run a boat for a day. You figure 3 times a week, every weekend, and they ain't just. And those guys, they don't just go out there on Saturday morning for their once a week fishing. They're out there all day on Saturday. They're out there all day on Sunday. And probably a time or two during the week, right? After work till dark. You're running them big boats around, man. They cost money.
Yeah, well, you found that out with even doing the online tournaments with your kayak. There's people out there that fish every freaking day of the week.
Yep.
where you're just a weekend hacker and you're heading out there and you can't compete with that.
No.
They're
No. So you just have to remember. You just have to remember why you're doing it, and you can't get too consumed on how how you finish.
right.
You know what I mean? It's got to be. You got to make it more about the experience.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm here to tell you, unless you got a really nice boat and some nice electronics and a fat checkbook, you're just gonna ride home pissed off.
Nope, you got to go out there just fishing for fun, having a good time doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe get lucky. It's just like playing poker. It really is just like playing poker. Yes, there's a skill to playing poker, but every now and then somebody gets lucky.
Exactly. Same thing with that. Same thing. Anybody, anybody can. You got lucky and hooked the 8-pounder.
Right.
Because I think the winning weight was. I don't think they posted it yet, and I can't honestly remember, but I want to say maybe around 18 pounds. I want to say 18. I don't think it was 20, but I don't think they posted anything yet. I don't remember seeing.
Right. What the hell's going on with that over there? Why is that doing that?
The chat.
Yeah.
Thing?
Is it doing it on your side too?
Yeah, that's first time I've seen that.
We're not dropping any frames or anything, so everything's pretty solid. Oh well. Oh well, it's Sunday. Who knows? Right. Who knows? So, let's see. Anything else to take from the tournament? Are you good?
No, I can't think of anything
At
else.
least you caught fish this time.
Yeah.
So at least you found. Yep. So where's the next tournament at?
The next tournament is, where's it at? Arlington, down on the Columbia River in August, but I won't be able to do that one because I'll be heading for
that's
Bristol.
Right.
And then the one they have after that's their club championship in Moses Lake in September, but I won't be able to fish that one because you have to have fished 3 club tournaments to be eligible to fish in that one. So
okay.
I'm only going to have 2, and then they have another one in October, I think, out of Columbia Point, but that's just for, I think that one's more kind of like a fun tournament. So
right. So you're pretty much done for the...
Yeah, probably done with that.
The tourney.
So just be some getting out. Hopefully we'll be able to get out some Saturdays. I actually think about heading out in the morning. I don't know where.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Don't have to mess with the boats and everybody else out there because it's Monday.
Yeah.
the nutty people. I don't even know what the weather's supposed to be doing tomorrow.
Oh, when I looked at it, it was looking like it was going to be good. Not supposed to be much wind.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. I'll probably take my stuff with me to work one of these nights and try and get out after work, but.
Well, we should plan that shit out.
I was trying to take Caleb, but I forgot he's in Hawaii for his graduation present.
Oh. That sucks for him.
Yeah, right. Gee, he wants.
Speaking of sucks for somebody, so we're up there, right? And it's so I didn't realize that when I think of potholes, I think of fishing, right? It's what the place is known for. It's supposed to be one of the top bass fishing lakes in our state. And that's what I know it for. I didn't realize it was such a big pleasure craft.
Right.
And so. If you know potholes at all, so you got Mardon Resort on the southern end, right? And off to the right, to the east, is a dam. And off to the left, there's kind of some beachfront type area, kind of where the campground is. And so as it's getting close to the end of the day, we worked our way back. And so you got Mardon, then you head west, you got the beach area. And then just past the beach area, there's some kind of like riprap stuff. And we're kind of fishing that stuff, kind of working our way back towards the resort, right? And you get down there, and now you're up by this beach area, and dude, you were at the boat races here in Tri
Mhm.
Cities, right? You look, there's canopies lined up on the beach and all these people, and I'm looking around like, what boat race are they watching, right? Oh man, it's people swimming and jet skis everywhere. And so now I see the jet skis and even before we left the dunes, when we got to the very beginning part, dude, there was jet skis back up in there, and I was having flashbacks to when you and I were out a couple weeks ago. I'm like, oh my god, these freaking jet skis again, right? So, anyways, now we're up by the beach, and I'm sitting there fishing. I hear Fred go, "Hey, check that out!" And I turn and look, and there's like a kid, probably some young teenage kid on a jet ski, but it's one of them stand-up ones, right? You know, where they
Right.
stand up like the old school. So he's sitting down on it, and he's got the handle things all down, and he's looking all slumped over, and he's kind of putting along real slow. And right behind him, trailing him, one on each side, are these wave runners, and they say right on the side of them, sheriff's
Oh
department,
shit.
and they're escorting this dude back to the beach, right? So I don't know what he did, but he was getting in trouble for something. And I looked at Fred, I'm like, man, I suppose those sheriffs drew the short straw this weekend, didn't they? I'm like, could you imagine having that job?
Ac-
You got to go to work on a Saturday and ride around on a jet ski.
Actually, yeah, I don't think that's the short straw. I think they put in
I
for it.
was
Yeah,
being
right.
sarcastic. Yeah, I'm like, poor bastards.
Jeez. What a shit job to ride around on a jet ski all day chasing around punks.
Chasing around punks and drunk people, right?
Shit.
You know,
Yeah, there is a lot of pleasure boats out there. A
hmm
lot of them. A lot of people camp and do that, but usually where you're usually fishing at, it's not that bad. But I'd still like to be able to get back
yeah,
into those dunes. I still think we could come up and over those dunes some way, somehow, and put in at the dunes.
yeah. We just need to do a little research, but there's definitely fish in there, as you saw, because I guarantee you probably 90% of those fish that you saw in the pictures all came out of the
Right.
dunes. Because, like I said, we were boat 18 out of 23. And when we launch, you know how they launch. They call them out one at a time, boat one,
Mm-hmm.
two, three. And I'm here to tell you, I didn't see any boats go to the right. Every boat went straight to the dunes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'd be heading to. Like I said, go in the morning, hit the dunes, and then after about 10, 11 o'clock, haul ass over to the dam and just start drop shotting and killing time.
Yeah.
You know,
I see, by the way, on YouTube, the picture went horrible.
did it? We didn't drop no.
Yeah, it was all blurry.
We didn't.
Right now on mine, it's all blurry, but that might be on my
Yeah,
end.
we didn't drop no. We haven't dropped any frames or anything, so everything should be bright green. It's all bright green. So, all right. So,
Yeah, tomorrow would be the best day for you to take your crap.
yeah,
It's only supposed to be 88 tomorrow and no wind.
man, dude, my stuff still looks the same it did 2 weeks ago. That ball of shit, those four rods that are all tied up and a knot. Um, yeah, it's still. I haven't even messed with it yet. But I think I
Tomorrow's.
did decide that I am just gonna buy me a couple more of those Tourney Z rods from Cabela's.
Yeah.
Call it good. I'm not, I'm done. I'm done with it. Although Casking is coming out with a
Saw that.
couple new rods. They're coming out with that Royal Legend bait casting rod, and they're also coming out with an Assassin rod. The only thing I don't like about that, hold on. So yeah, that gets us to our main topic of the night. Our
I believe they call that a
what?
segue.
Yeah, right. What products we want to try from the ICAST this year, and one of mine. But I don't think I am, though. Tell you the truth, but I'll show this real quick. So Casking's going to be coming out with the Assassin rod. Now Casking has had rods out in the past. They usually have the traveling rods, those freaking telescopic bastards, and they had a couple other ones that I don't know. I didn't really care for. So this rod here is the Assassin rod.
Is that a two piece?
It's a one piece, and this is like
Does it match the reel?
It's blue, if that makes a thing for it. But
yeah.
This one's going to come in at $100. Now I'm a little leery on $100 price for a Cash King rod.
Well, I wonder, is that $100, but you'll be able to get it on Amazon for $69? Is it one of those kind of deals?
I don't think so, man. The prices that they're putting on Instagram are pretty much the same of the prices for their other stuff. Because some of their new reels they got coming out, they got a couple new reels coming out too that were priced about what I would think they would be priced at. But it is a nice rod. I mean, from talking about it and looking at the pictures, the only thing is, though, is look, it only comes in one length right now.
Oh, really?
It's just 7 foot, but it comes with all the different powers.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. Just $100. I was thinking, oh, okay, man, that's gonna be pretty cool. They're probably gonna throw that in there for about $60. You know, then I'd pretty much be all over it, but.
$100, you can get a 13 fishing.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you know, if I was going to do that, then you know, got cork handles, which I'm not a big fan of the cork handles, but I do like that the reel stop there, the reel keeper. It's definitely it's not plastic. But I did make an observation of like, man, for us to really know what was all at ICAST, we just need to be there next year. Mm-hmm. Just to walk around, see shit. Because it's the way I am when I go to SEMA. You know, I go check out the SEMA stuff, and you got to be there. You know, to really see what's there, what's not. You know.
Right.
So that's one of the things that I might try that. I don't know. I doubt it. Maybe. Possibly.
Right.
But I am going to buy those Cabela's rods. I'm going to order those probably tonight. And get those rods coming. So at least I got fishing rods since 2 of mine are broken.
Hey, speaking of that real quick, so one of my guides got bent on my blackout.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw that, and I started to barely bend it back, and I'm like, oh, man. I just felt like it's going to snap if I try to bend it anymore.
Yeah.
So that's
up top or one of the big?
Right
man, one of the bigger ones.
In the middle.
I think one of the bigger ones.
No, it's a small.
Oh, it's the micro guide.
It's a small one. That's why I was real leery about trying to bend it back.
So another one. So now this I am going to buy this. This is definitely coming. I'm going to try that out. So that's the Z Bait Company, the Armacraw. Mm-hmm. Comes out next spring. But look, man, the thing looks like it looks very vial crawlish.
Yeah.
But those two little tentacles, I guess you would call it, and the way that those arms are on that little basher looks like it's going to have some good action.
Well, you know, that bait I was using that I picked up at Cabela, as a matter of fact, the one I sent you a picture of, I actually got quite a few bites on that thing yesterday.
Really?
That kinky beaver.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like that. It has little tails after the craw part.
Yeah.
I just don't know if it was the right color for up there, but it was the only one I had, so I'm like, I bought it. Screw it. I'm throwing them on.
What did you buy? Black and blue?
It's Okeechobee craw. It was a green pumpkin and blue.
Oh. Now you would have figured that would have worked.
Yeah, I got bit. I never was able to catch anything, but I definitely got bit on it.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna buy a pack of those when those actually hit the market. I'll buy a black and blue one, and then this red watermelon flake. I'm assuming that's what they're calling that one. But yeah, that looks pretty badass right there. I do I do like that one. And then I think we're both thinking about that old. I call it a knuckleballer, but the knuckle bait.
Oh, the Yozuri.
Yozuri knuckle bait.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. I'm still trying to figure out what that does and what it's supposed to mimic. I mean, does it just put a vibration off in the water, I'm assuming?
That's what I think it does. I think it probably just makes a sporadic,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it probably makes it like a knuckleball. It probably goes through the water and
Right.
know.
Sits there and
Mm-hmm.
yeah. But it does look pretty damn good.
Right.
And I did notice too that like you probably went to Tackle Warehouse to look at all the new iCast baits.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like they're very proud this year on pricing.
Yeah.
It's like everything went up like a buck or two. Everything's like everything's between $8 and $9.
Yeah, like I told you, I looked through all that stuff and I just kind of, I agree with Fluke Master on his video when he walked through. He kind of chuckled. He's like, "Yeah, it's only so many times you can reinvent the wheel." You know, it's all the same kind of crap except for, like I saw. You remember Live Target, or I don't know, if it was Live Target. Don't quote me on that. Whoever came out with the duck, right? Remember last year was the year of the duck, the topwater duck. Well, now someone came out with a bat.
I saw the bat.
Like what? Come on, whatever.
It's just going to be a poodle.
Right? It's like, what the hell?
Fucking chihuahua.
It's either some crazy crap someone came up with, or you know, a new colors.
Right.
So,
Well,
I don't know.
Colors. I mean, you got your basic three, I guess. Basic two. You either got a green or you got a black. There's your two colors right there. Those are your base colors.
Speaking of that, I told you Dylan went fishing this weekend. My son down by oh crap, it's that little river that runs into the Snake River down on past Walla Walla, the southeast corner of Washington, the Grand Ronde River, maybe it's called. Anyways, he went fishing down there, and I told him, because I was already gone the other day before he realized he was going, so I said, well, just grab a couple bags of Cincos at Walmart. And so he's down there fishing for these smallmouth, and the water, of course, is really clear. I'm like, well, what color of Cinco were you catching them on? Black and blue. It don't matter what the watercolor is for that.
It's black and blue. Black and blue.
Yeah.
Well, last week we talked about that new Concept Z. And I was very surprised that it did not get freshwater reel, best of show freshwater reel. And they gave it to Shimano, which I don't know. It seems like
for that the K one, the something
Karado
K or something.
And you know that comes in at $159. Is what they're selling that one for. But what I don't get is that, okay, there's really nothing new on that reel. You know, they're trying to say that they did, you know what they did do, and it kind of kills me because they were talking about, I don't have nothing up on my computer, I can search for it real quick and bring up the pictures, but I don't know what they're calling their braking system on that reel. But they're like, our brand new innovative SKVD 3 to the power 4 whatever braking system, that brand new that we innovated. And I'm sitting there going, bullshit. Casking has that on their stealth reel. $54, and you're gonna sit here and tell me that this is innovative? You know, they got the same thing on there. But what I don't get, it just seems like, I don't want to say politics, but I'm
That's what Fluke Master said.
Does he? I don't
Yeah,
watch Food
Fluke
Monster.
Master said he was laughing when he was walking through the Best of Show. Every year he walks through all the Best of Show
Mm-hmm.
deals and films, and he was chuckling. He goes, whatever. He goes, a bunch of
See, okay,
politics.
so I'm not. So me being an outsider, and I watch his videos every now and then, but I'm thinking the same thing. I'm like, there just seems like there's always and it's the same thing at the SEMA show though too. So I mean, it is the same thing, but it's like Shimano was like, whining and dining and everything, going, hey, check out this rod or this reel, because they got freshwater and saltwater reel, best show. And I'm sitting there going, dude, how the frick did the Concept Z not get a freshwater reel, best of show, or overall best, or overall best of show?
Yeah, I think that's just they give an award to each company to keep them all happy.
But I mean, honestly, I hate the color of this thing. I know I'm an orange fan, and I love orange and black, but that's just almost too much.
Hey, speaking of that, did you notice that somewhere I saw on Instagram today? I don't remember who posted it. They posted a picture of that reel on the green rod.
I did see that. Did that not look hideous? It looked like total ass.
It was well, unless you're I don't know, if you're a Miami Hurricane fan or something.
That's not even Miami Hurricane colors, dude.
Or Florida A&M, or I don't know, one of those.
Yeah, no, it doesn't do me one bit. But yeah, I think they could have done with that color. But that's just the way they are. They got that green one, they got that one, and whatever. But yeah, how this reel right here did not get any kind of award, because everything that they're showing, all the feedback that they're getting on it, is like, this thing is just absolutely nuts. Absolutely nuts. I'd love to try one. I don't think I'll ever buy one, $200, but unless everybody starts getting them, they're like, oh, this is the next greatest thing next to sliced bread, then maybe I'll be all over it. But
right.
But yeah, I just don't get how that one, screw Shimano. I'm sorry. Screw Shimano. You heard it here first. Screw Shimano. And Shimano makes a nice reel. I mean, don't get me wrong, but they got some nice cheaper, down in my price range, reels, but I don't know. It just doesn't do it for me. I don't get why and how they did that. And that, what was it? The boat got best of overall show. BOTE boat.
Yes. Yeah, I glanced at it for about 2 seconds and moved right on.
So you sit on a bucket and you can put an outboard motor on it. Yeah, I saw pictures of that one.
I honestly was more interested in, well, as far as the small boat world, the kayak world, I was more interested in that Bonafide kayaks, which anybody in the kayak world knows is was teased for months now. So Bonafide Kayaks is it's Yak Attack, the company Yak Attack, Luther Cyphers that owns Yak Attack. They started up a company to make fishing kayak, and it's kind of one of those deals where they're like, well, you got this kayak out there that everybody likes for this reason and this one for this reason, and they figured, okay, they were going to make a plan to address all the best things and put them into one. Although it does not have pedals. There's no pedals and no trolling motor, nothing like that. It's just a straight up paddle.
A real kayak. We could say it. It's a real kayak.
Yes, a real fishing kayak, right? And you know what? And they said the research and R&D and stuff that they put into it is supposed to be really good. And Chad Hoover, of course, on I think it's Tuesday, maybe it's Wednesday at ICAST, they have like the demo day at the little pond out front where the people could try out the different kayaks or boats or ultra skiffs or whatever. And Chad Hoover did a couple lengthy videos on it. He went out and stood up and paddled it and all that stuff. And it has a catamaran style hull,
Mm-hmm.
which that's what makes it stable and also makes it track really well, you know. And so somebody was asking him on one of the lives, like, well, how does it track? And, Chad Hoover, man, he fires off, oh, it tracks great, man. It tracks like rolling a fat girl down a steep hill. Like, oh my goodness.
Shit.
But anyways, that looked really interesting to me, and I was like, yeah, that'd be pretty cool because it's smaller than the big rig. But they said their goal was, because I watched an interview with the designer of it. They said the goal was to make it, less than 13 feet. I think it's 12.6 or 12.7, something like that. But they wanted it to have the speed of a 14-foot kayak, and they wanted it, as stable as a 36 or 37-inch kayak, but only at 33 inches wide. And so I guess that's what they accomplished with it. So it looks nice, but like I said, we've talked about it before, and that this is leading into the time where they need to start thinking about different divisions
Mm-hmm.
in kayak fishing. Because I'm sure it's a great kayak. It will be a great kayak, but once again, if you're going to fish competitive tournaments,
Right.
you can't. We've beat that horse to death. But anyways, yeah. So I would like to see them go to divisions eventually.
Right. Yeah, you would think they'd have to.
They should. I don't know if they will, but they should.
Yeah. Yeah, there was a lot of kayak stuff. That's for damn sure there. I mean, it
Yeah.
just shows where it's going.
Well, it's like they say. It's like they say. At the end of the day, not very many people can afford $50,000 plus bass boats.
Right.
That's just not reality. But most people can afford a piece of Tupperware to go chase bass
Right.
on. So, I did laugh at a lot of the ultra skiff stuff. Because you know how we've talked before, you brought up things about the females, and you see videos with females fishing, and I did notice a lot of their shit seemed to have a lot of females interacting with their boats. Oh, look at this girl! She's gonna stand this boat up and roll it down the road, or she's not sure if she can lift it up. Here, go ahead, try it. We're gonna film you.
Right. Put on a bikini.
Yeah. I can't fault them too much, I suppose, because they are based out of Miami. So
That was probably all their wives and who knows, but yeah. Yeah, a lot of those I guess quote unquote big tittied fishing models. That's where they're from, is Miami.
right.
But it was I did see a lot of kayak stuff there. But like you're right, man. There's just nothing. It's hard to come out with something new and innovative in fishing. I mean, it's just been done, and to me, like I said, that's just one reason why I'm just so. And I'm not a 13 fishing fan. I'm not no freaking fanboy of them or anything like that. But to how you could have something like that, a product like that comes out that's totally different than anything else, and not get anything for it. It's just like, sorry, maybe next year 13 fishing when you guys get bigger as Shimano.
Yeah.
Yeah, bullshit. Bullshit. But yeah, I would like to go there next year. That'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
It'd be fun just to check it out and walk around and just check out all the new stuff, and that's where it'd be cool just to see all that.
Right.
See what is new, what's not new, or anything else. But yeah, I would like to do that.
Well, I don't think we're gonna be showing up representing Woo Tungsten.
No, I don't believe we will be showing up representing Woo Tungsten.
No.
What he's referring to is that we got our order in. I didn't. I honestly didn't need any more weights. You didn't need any more weights, right? But we ordered them. But we
No,
ordered them
but
because
we
you know
ordered.
what, we were going to jump in feet first with the Woo Tungsten boys and try and help them promote their product. And we got that order, and we got a little sticker. That's cool. But this is my problem.
Oh, there was only one sticker in there.
One little sticker.
Wow.
Yeah, one little sticker that I guess you're supposed to put on your hat or something. I don't freaking know. Put somewhere, but um, for a hat it's $25. For a shirt it's $25. So this is one thing I don't get with any kind of promotional. If you're going to be part of a promotional staff of anything, they should send you a shirt and a hat. Plain and simple. There is no why do I need to spend, let's just say, $60 in product and then spend another $60 in apparel for what? Why? So I could take a picture with your hat on there and you go, "Hey, good job. Thanks for making us more money."
Right.
Promotional staff, hook me up. Yeah, great. I got a discount on something, but really it's not really about the discount as much as it is, hey man, I'm be taking pictures anyhow. But it'd be a lot better if I had Woo across the hat here, or Woo on my shirt or something like that, but I'm not going to pay for it. I got shirts. I got plenty of shirts. I got plenty of hats. So yeah, let's just say that our Woo Tungsten partnership is probably going to come to a crashing halt. Although I am going to send him an email this week, though. I'm going to send him an email saying, "Hey, man, that's cool that I got a discount, and that's great and cool. Where's the shirts? Where's the hat?" And if they say, "No, you got to buy that," then it's I'm sorry, man. This is the way I think it is. If you want me to talk good about your stuff, I'll talk good about it. Which I always will. I'm not going to talk bad about Woo Tungsten. Well, I'm not going to talk bad about it. Unless I go to throw one and it. I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen with the weight?
It's not a lot.
Right? It's a weight. It's nothing special, fancy. Unless I throw it and it breaks in half and it takes out some kid's eyeball. For some reason it breaks in half in the midair. I don't freaking know. I'm just saying, it's just I don't know. So I am going to send him an email and just ask him, "Hey, what's up, man? I mean, I'd really like to support you guys and, use your product and everything else. Well, I got to use it now. Hell, I got it and you got it and we're going to be using it. But
Right.
shit, I'll catch a freaking if Strike King gave me a shirt because I use their spinner baits or something like that. If I catch one on a freaking Texas rig, Woo Tungsten Texas rig fish, I'm gonna hold it up with my Strike King gear on and go, "Look what I caught." Because I got a shirt.
Right.
Bastards. What else you got?
That's about it.
We got
think
about
of.
7 minutes. Because we're going to try and keep this down to an hour. We're not going to try and divert too much.
Did you watch? Well, you were on the boat. Did you listen to the race today?
I did not even listen to it. I know who won. I did not watch the F1 race. I know who won. I did not watch the Infinity race. I know who won. I had a very bad...
Who did you pick? Who did you pick for NASCAR?
Jimmy Johnson. Where did he finish at? Because I don't know where he finished at. I know he started on outside pole, and then he jumped the start, and that last I heard, he was in 20th. Oh, but hold on.
Yeah, I don't...
Hold on. Before we start talking about racing.
What the hell is that idiot doing out here? Stupid son of a bitch!
Nice. The Fishin Hole live racing chatter. There you go.
No, Brinkley filled me in on the F1 race because it didn't record because of the Tour de France. And I did not realize it was over on CNBC. So I missed that.
Jimmy Johnson was 10th.
I'll take that. Hopefully.
Denny Hamlin won. I think if there was a few more laps, Kyle Larson would.
It sounded like
win.
Kyle Larson would have had him.
He would have had him with a few more laps, but there was in the last 10 laps they were starting to come up on lap traffic, and there was one little cluster of 2 lap cars that was the difference. Hamlin, Larson, the ground he was gaining, he lost just a little bit of momentum getting by those 2 guys, and that finished him off.
Right.
Because otherwise, without that, I think he would have been to the bumper, and then I would have enjoyed seeing him move Hamlin, but. Whatever. It's a different.
That's what I was saying. I'm like, come on, Hamlin. I hope he wins. All right, because when they were doing when I got back in the car after getting off the boat, they were doing like the post show, and they're doing the last lap or whatever. I'm like, well, fuck. At least I hope Hamlin wins because that's just us one step closer to our dream of 16 winners.
Right. Now I didn't get to see the post because we had to take off to the store, but. The interview that I would have been dying to watch was Kyle Busch. Because Kyle Busch had a pretty good car today, and he probably had a chance, but that dude sped on pit road twice.
Oh, then they probably didn't do an interview with him.
No, I know it's not, but we would have saw the typical camera chasing him through the pit area. What the guy with the reporter that drew the short straw that had to go find Kyle Busch. Oh, you know it, man. He on the last green flag stop, he was too fast entering while he was leading. While he was leading, too fast entering, and then they had a caution, right? Then after that, they had a caution, and he comes to the pits and sped again, too fast entering. I'm like, oh man, he's probably ready to chew his steering wheel off.
He's probably melted down. He probably just told the guys, he's like, make sure my coach is warmed up when I get done.
Interesting finish towards the end was old Danica actually pulled out a 13.
Really?
Yeah, she actually was running pretty decent at the end. So, but that fire that's under her ass right now is probably growing and growing.
Well, yeah, all the chatter that's out there right now.
So today on the pre-race show, they showed a list, and I can't remember all the names on it, but it was a graphic that showed all the drivers who are not under contract for 2018 as of right now, and we already knew Danica Patrick and Kenseth, but I didn't realize this, but
Kurt Busch,
his is up. Yeah, he's not guaranteed either.
And the problem is with Kurt Busch is that they really don't have any sponsorship. That has pretty much been sponsored by Haas, and who knows?
And I believe that's going to be the same problem with Danica Patrick. And speaking of Danica Patrick. Did you know who was sponsoring Clint Boyer's car today? Nature's Bakery. Isn't that odd? Because remember they had that falling out with Stuart Haas because they were supposed to sponsor Danica and then something happened. Remember, and they were supposedly in a court battle over the sponsorship. So I thought that was pretty odd that Nature's Bakery, not only were they sponsoring a Stuart Haas car, but it wasn't even Danica's car.
Wow.
So I thought that was odd. So now I'm sitting there thinking, well, did maybe Nature's Bakery won that lawsuit, and so Stuart Haas had to put their shit on.
Yeah.
And then I text you this morning about an interesting interview with Joe Gibbs. Joe Gibbs, they were talking about the whole Kenseth and Eric Jones deal, right? And Joe Gibbs basically said in the interview that their hand was forced because of circumstances. They didn't want to do it. They didn't have any intentions to do this right now with Eric Jones.
So it sounds like the 77 is going away then.
Right. That's what we talked about. Yeah, I think that's the deal. I think the 77 car, I think Visser was like, I'm not funding this car for another year. So I think that's what happened. Yeah, I think their hand was forced.
Probably.
Well, I mean, I don't think Gibbs said their hand was forced, that they didn't want to do this right now. So I think that's what happened. So it's kind of one of those deals. Well, if you want Eric Jones, you're going to have to bring him in now or he's going to go to another team.
Right. Oh, and people are just standing in line. Yeah. Wow, it almost sounds like the 77 is going. One and done.
Right.
Interesting.
And there was also, they talked about, somebody interviewed Hendricks, and he led to believe that there wasn't things probably were not going to line up for Byron to get in the 88 car. And on the 88 car note, somebody also interviewed, and Jimmy Johnson supposedly was on record endorsing
right
Bowman for that car. But who, take that for what it's worth.
I don't know. It's almost leaning more towards Kansas maybe jumping in the 88 car.
Yeah, it could be.
But who knows? I mean, we don't write a checkbook, so who knows? We just get to sit here and talk shit about it.
Sorry,
chat about it. That doesn't mean much.
Also, you know what? Now, if I remember about it too, I want to say I'm almost 100% sure Blaney's name was on that list also.
Yeah, but Blaney
of not being under contract for 2018.
Like I said, Penske's already been on record as saying Blaney's going to be with him, or that he really, really wants Blaney,
well, I'm
like
sure.
a third car.
But I wouldn't be surprised to see. Well, I think, you know what? And the whole thing, like you just mentioned, it comes back to sponsorship too.
Yeah.
Right? Because you got to have the sponsors, all right? Because, look at Stuart Haas. We could sit there and go, yeah, well, they should put somebody like Blaney in a Stuart Haas car, but they got to have the sponsorship.
Right. Yep. Got to have the money to race. That's what it all comes down to. The days are gone where you just drive a car because you have the skill to drive the car.
Yeah, no more Greg Biffle.
Hey, what happened to him? He fell off the earth. Done.
Hey, there was a story about him though last week that showed up on the racing
really
news. Something about he's being charged with spying on his ex-wife and mother-in-law.
What?
Yeah, I saw that, man. I couldn't believe
This
it.
dude ain't gonna go all Jeremy Mayfield, is he?
I hope not.
Oh no. See?
Oh, here's the news. See, I'm scrolling through the news real quick while we're finishing up here on J-Ski. Here's a headline for you. Hinchcliffe considers racing in NASCAR.
Considers racing in NASCAR from... Well, they've been saying that.
IndyCar. Hinchcliffe, yep.
They've been saying that there's a couple of new teams out there that are wanting to possibly get their toes wet and to Cup.
Yep. Another headline from J-Ski. Childress possibly back to a 2-car team.
Oh, Jesus.
Richard Childress Racing is preparing for the possible departure of Menard's team.
Fucking Menards. They're just like, dude, we're tired of spending money just so our boy can race.
Right.
That's it. We got to do something. We're spending way too much money for this dude to come in 20th every rate.
Right.
Because you know it's going to be the Dillon boys there racing.
Right.
31 and 3. That's going to be the Dillon boys. And they're going to do just as shitty as they're doing now. Because you got to think, Ryan Newman has to be almost done.
I think the only reason he's there is because he must have a deal with he must have a good relationship with some of those sponsors that are still writing checks for him. And speaking of that, so I had a crazy thought enter my head today. Now, what if this happened? So you know how everybody's talking about William Byron, Junior Motorsports, about bringing him up possibly to the 88 and Hendricks and this and that, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm looking at some of the Xfinity cars. What if Brandt decided to write a big old fat check? Wouldn't that shock everybody's ass if Allgaier gets put in the 88 because Brandt wrote a big check to Hendricks? I think that's the only reason he's still where he's at, because Brandt wrote a check.
I totally concur with that. That was the only reason why he made it to Cup the first time.
Right.
And then they're like, whoa, let's pull back the reins a little bit. This dude's not
Yeah,
great.
well.
He's not a bad racer. I mean, I don't dislike it.
But that would just prove it, right? That would just prove it. That would just be the proof of the pudding right there to everybody. Like, see, this is how it works.
And I think that's the problem with Alex Bowman is that even though he has probably the best skill out of everybody out there to race that 88 car, he doesn't have no backing.
He has no relationship with any sponsors because he's been playing computer games for the last 2 years. He's the simulator driver.
Right. In the automatic fill-in. But he's probably making a pretty decent living holding the clipboard, as we say.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, really, you get to hold the clipboard, man. You get to go home every night. Well, I guess, learning shit about cars.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting towards the end of the season. Yes.
Now we can start up our new segment. Where's Bubba Wallace?
Where is Bubba Wallace?
Where's Bubba Wallace?
Bubba Wallace was sitting at home today.
On iRacing. That's where Bubba Wallace is.
Yep. Yeah, he was definitely sitting at home today. Which again, I mean, that he could drive a car. I don't think he's a great driver. I don't think he's any better than any of the other slubs out there, but I mean, let's face it, he got where he's at because of what's the program called?
Which one?
The one that the Drive for Diversity.
Oh.
I mean, that honestly, let's just put it where it is. I mean, that's how he came up through Gibbs. And if Gibbs walks away from you because he was supposed to be the next shit. Remember back in the day, what was that, 5 years ago? He was going to be the next shit. Gibbs. He was a Gibbs race driver. And Gibbs like, oh, hey, man, dude, well, we're sorry, man. We're going to have to let you go. Yep. And then he wormed his way in over on the Ford side of it. Didn't really do shit there besides complain every freaking race. Because he was always wrecked. And that's what, sorry, man. It's not the fact that those wrecks are his fault, but where you're at when you get wrecked is your fault. You're not hearing Kozlowski bitching because he got wrecked in second place all the time. He gets pissed off when he gets wrecked. I shouldn't have been back there anyhow. I shouldn't have been back in the 15, 16 spot. That's my, that's why. So, I mean,
it's true.
It sucks to say it, but because I'm sorry this too, that right now with what's the Mexican's name? I forget it. Daniel Suarez. Yibs. Right now, although he did have he finished today like top 10, didn't he? I think so. I think he got like a 6 or something. So he's progressing. But there was no way he was ready for Cup either.
No.
He won a championship last year, and he.
Well, that's the thing is right now it's the same thing with Byron. It's looking like he's most likely going to win the Xfinity Championship, but is that dude really ready for Cup? Probably not.
Yeah, I don't know. Who's that one kid that races for Gibbs? That finished second yesterday in the Infinity race. His Pierce, something like that. He only
Priest. Yeah, but see, you know what? That's when I was watching that yesterday. I'm thinking, man, this is like the road course ringer, but this is the New Hampshire ringer.
Oh,
because that kid, that Ryan Priest, like dominates. He's from that area, and he's raced like modifieds forever there. Dominates modified races. Like, I don't know. That's when I watched that dude. I'm like, why?
Okay.
Why? What you put him in the car for? What did he do? He could run good at New Hampshire. Well, he should. He races there every damn week.
Okay. See, I did not know that.
Yeah. That's what. When I watch it, I'm like, why?
Okay. Well, that makes sense now because I'm like, man, this kid Man, he held his own with the Cup riders out there, and that,
Let's go put him. Let's go put him in the car at Dover,
Bristol.
you know what I mean? Right? Yeah. I mean, he might even. I bet he's raced Bristol a ton of times in modified too. But let's put him. I don't know. That's what that's like.
Well, he's only racing with them for 2 races, so he gets
Right.
2 races with them. I don't probably both New Hampshire races.
Yeah. No, I thought they said where the other one was going to be. It was somewhere different, but it's just point being of. So you put him in a car at New Hampshire, and I'm supposed to be wowed? It's like, no, I'm not wowed. You ain't wowing
Got
me.
you.
Uh-uh.
See, I did not know that, so
Yeah, you're not going to impress me because of what he did at New Hampshire. He's probably got, a million laps around that place. Take his ass to Charlotte or something, or Texas, or, go drop him in somewhere else, and now we'll see how he swings.
right. I concur.
Yeah. Anyways, when I saw that, I'm like, even before the race started, they were making, oh, yeah, Ryan Preece. I'm like, yeah, he's probably going to run top 10, and everyone's going to be like, ooh, see? Yeah, see what? See what?
Shit.
Yeah. Anyways.
And I see Hamilton won.
Oh, yeah. I don't know what the Ferraris had issues, man.
They
had issues at the end with front tires.
That's what it sounded like. But you know who?
Yeah.
Actually, it kind of worked into our more into our benefit
Why?
because that put Bottas into second, which means that Hamilton didn't pull a lead on points. Because I really want Bottas to catch his ass in points, and just to see Hamilton melt the fuck down.
The problem now is Vettel's lead is gone.
Yeah, because he finished fourth.
The points lead is 1.
Ugh.
He's got a 1-point lead.
Man,
He had a nice, comfortable lead. It's gone. Yeah.
Ferrari, come on, Ferrari! I know you guys are watching.
Get your crap together.
You're watching the 2 hillbillies from
crap
Washington
together.
State.
Yeah, that's right.
You
Get your crap
Italian
together.
bastards, get your shit together.
You don't want us upset at you.
I'm going to rip down my Ferrari poster in the other spare room. Bastards.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, that's pretty much all I have.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. For
You got to
this
go watch
time.
Game of Thrones.
We're getting Game of Thrones night. We gotta remind everybody that football is coming. It's getting
Speaking about
closer.
that, I watched those All or Nothings.
I'm up to the last one. After I just started the one where the new coach comes in.
I think I just watched that one last night. I did like a marathon. That's why I was up till 4 a.m. But,
Dude, I felt bad when old Fisher got canned, man. Because did you get the same feeling I did? Like I watched it. I'm like he ain't out there throwing interceptions. Here's my opinion of what happened with the Rams. Okay, number one, they drafted that quarterback and they sat him.
Mhm.
Right. That's step one. Whether that dude is good or garbage, you made your bed. You married him. Right? You bought the car. You brought it home. It's sitting in the driveway. Get in it and drive it. Don't just let it sit in the driveway and wash it and go, ooh, look what we got. That doesn't help nothing, right? And the other thing that killed him was, because we all know the Rams got a good defense, right? They have for a while. The problem that killed them was they started getting injuries.
Mm-hmm.
That's what killed them. So when you took an offense that was garbage with a quarterback that was garbage, and then the defense wasn't the same, that was it. That was the recipe right there.
Yeah, they should have played
But
it.
so in that sense, I guess you do have to blame the coach a little bit because he's the one that wanted Goff, or at least that's the way they made it sound. That was his pick.
Right. Well, yeah, especially when you see, the second overall go and then wherever Dallas picked up Prescott at, but I think that was like 24th. And they're both,
Right.
whooping ass every weekend and doing that. And you got Goff, which I'm still not sold on Goff. I don't.
Oh no, I don't think so either. I think he's going to end up being a bust. Actually,
I just. It's for some reason I just don't. It's like every time you watch that show, it's just like he's not a leader.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't seem like he's the one that's going to run in there and say, "Jump on my back, fellas. We're going to drive this thing down there." He just didn't seem like he has it.
Well, if you buy into, their new head coach and why they hired the guy they did, the organization probably made a smart move in that part for bringing that guy in, because supposedly he's kind of like a quarterback whisperer kind of guy.
Who'd they bring in anyhow? I don't even remember.
He was the offensive coordinator from the Redskins. And they kind of touted him as like a quarterback whisperer kind of.
Oh,
like
because for what he did with what's his
made
nuts.
Kirk Cousins what he did. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see. That probably was a smart move on their part, because Goff, they're gonna have to. Hey, look what they gave up for him, right? I mean, they sold the farm to get him, so you better figure out how to make him worth it.
Yeah, no, they should have played him from day one, but I know what they were trying to do. They're like, okay, well, we're moving. We want to give the fans somebody to, at least we got a chance on winning a game here and there. And, the problem is they're just lied to at the beginning of the season when they beat Dallas Seattle, and then went on the road and
they won 3 in a row. In this NFL nowadays, though, you can't do that parking quarterback shit anymore. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. You can't do that. Not in this day and age.
Nope, not unless you take a quarterback, late first round, second round. Sorry, you use your overall pick, and you're right. You gotta lay. You made that bed, man.
You married him.
You did it, so.
And I did think it was funny that, I don't know how close you paid attention when you were watching your marathon, but one of the episodes, it probably was the episode right before the one where Fisher got fired, and the coaches were standing around, and Fisher was talking
laughing.
I
saw that.
And even his son's like, well, you might want to wait 4 weeks before you do that. And he is kind of looking at him like, I'm not worried.
And his son's still like, oh, you better wait 4 weeks.
All right, you might want to wait, right? Yeah. I'm like, wow, man. Wow.
Well,
crazy.
Here's my thing. Fisher should have been fired last year, or the year before when they were getting ready to leave. And the only reason why I honestly think they kept him, this is the only reason why they kept him, because he made a move before.
Right. Probably right.
He knows how to do it. He knows how to keep the guys kind of somewhat freaking focused and everything else. And they were going to probably let him go at the end of the year, but it was just getting so bad that they had to show the fans of LA, look, we're here for you. This is what we're doing. That's all that is right there, is that he probably would have been fired anyhow. Unless he went 9-6. I don't think that would have happened anyhow.
Well, which fan base cannot wait more than any other fan base for football to start, right?
Oakland.
It's got to be the Falcons.
Falcons.
It's got to be the Falcons, right? Like, that taste in their mouth has been sitting for a few months now. They gotta be. And they're getting a new stadium this year, right? Opening the Mercedes Dome or whatever the hell they call it. So out of all the fans, man, they're the ones that cannot wait.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It'll be interesting, man. It's getting exciting. So I'm just gonna have to start reading up on football.
You're gonna have to make a football intro.
You're right, dude. I like my racing intro, man. That came out pretty good. Look at that.
What the hell is that idiot doing out here? Stupid son of a bitch!
All right, well,
that's it, man. We went 20 minutes over, so
yeah.
All right, till next week. Maybe I got to do a review video on something. I got to put a video out. I'm just too tired when I get home, so I haven't had the umption to do anything. So,
all
right, double peace signs. We be out.
Take care. Later.